What is up? Welcome to Around the Hobby. This is Around the Hobby. You have come to the right place. I am not Chris. I'm not Gold Line Cards. I'm Che, Ian Sports Cards on Twitter. Chris wanted to actually be a part of the show tonight, so he's asked me to do a guest host role. So this might end up being a train wreck. Probably will end up being a train wreck, but hey, that's what it's all about when me and Chris get together. So. Thank you guys for joining. Yeah, Chris is laughing. This is I do get to mute Chris tonight. I'm really excited about that. What's up, Boggs? We got Boggs in the chat already. Thanks for joining us, man. But let me introduce who we got. You might notice we not only do you have a different host, we've got more folks than usual because Chris forgot he was going to be in the show and invited 4 people on. So now we've got 5 people in the show. So we've got Chris, Gold Line Card. We've got Jamie at The Real SPZA on Twitter. We've got my guy, Nick Lucchese. It's football season. He's excited. He's ready to go. We've got the one and only Vito from the Point Sports Cards. Welcome, Vito. Glad to have you. And we've got the, 8, 9-time champion, Mallory. She's here to kick these guys' butts. So if you guys don't know what Around the Hobby is about, basically, we have this panel here. I'll go through a bunch of questions. I'll give them about 30 seconds each to answer the questions. I hope to get to use the mute button if they go over the 30 seconds. I'll make up the points. I'll give them points for how good their answer is. It's completely arbitrary, but at the end we'll have a winner, and that person gets 1 minute to sound off and give us their opinion on anything they want. So we've introduced our panelists, giving you the rules. So let's let these guys introduce themselves. We'll just go around the horn here from what I see. So, Chris, you're right next to me. Why don't you tell us about yourself? Who are you? Why are you here?
Well, I'm Chris. I'm here because I want to be. This is awesome. I'm hanging out with, my best Twitter friends and hopefully, real life friends too when we get to meet someday. But this is my show. This is what we do. And all you awesome people are joining me on this because we're all going to have a good time tonight. And I just wanted to be like, hey, Che and I have been talking about it for a while. We're like, I get to be the guest. And he's like, hey, I'll host it for you. It's awesome. So finally, we're like, we found a day that worked for some people, and we hopped on, and that's what I'm doing here. I like to collect the Reds, the Broncos, Cody Bellinger, and Carter Kaboom.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, Jamie, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Jamie. I am a diehard Colorado sports fan, so much so that apparently when I go on these shows, people still think I live in Colorado, which I don't anymore. So that's probably good. I'm repping the brand pretty well. I've been on this show a few times. I felt like after I didn't win the teacher's edition, I should probably just walk out because that's about all I got. That's about as good as it gets from me. But yeah, I'm pivoting a little bit on my collecting. I'm trying to get more graded, older, vintage Hall of Fame NFL players. I'm a little nervous with the what's going on right now with modern. So maybe it's a scare tactic on my part, but I'm about to pivot pretty hard, I think.
Hey, I'm right there with you. I made my pivot a little bit last year, so I definitely can empathize with that. All right, Mr. Nick, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, man?
Yeah, my name is Nick. I've been a lifelong sports fan, collector. Football, baseball are my main sports of interest. I am a White Sox fan, UCF fan. Got our first home game on Thursday. So I'm excited for that. First game in 2 years for me. So that'll be a lot of fun. Enjoy getting to come on this show and, just chat with some good people about sports and the things we love. And Don't feel bad, Jamie. You lost the teacher show. I lost the wrestling show, and I consider myself a big wrestling guy. So Chris is a tough judge sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Well, thanks for joining us, man. I think everybody on here has been on here multiple times, right? Vito, I know you've been on a few times. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, man?
Yeah, I've been on a few times, and I enjoy coming on. I look forward to when Chris asks me and invites me. Yeah, I'm a New York City boy. I've been here my whole life. I'm born and raised in New York City. Big New York sports fan, except for football, where I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and we'll get into that at another time, why I'm a Cowboys fan living in New York. But I guess it's just being growing up in the 70s probably is what caused a little of that, and having a father that knew nothing about professional football. So, and like most people my age, I got heavy into collecting as a young kid, and then did the pause from the 95 till about 2014 until my daughter started getting really interested in it and made me, I'll say she made me buy a Mike Trout PSA 10 2011 Topps traded card, and I paid $175 for it. And I told her, do not tell your mother that I just paid $175 for a single card, but I'm glad I did.
Now tell her.
Yeah. Other than that, I enjoy my time on Twitter with the group. I sell on the Discord community hobby shop. So I'm pretty active. As far as collecting, I collect my New York teams and really trying to donate and move a lot of the base cards that I just don't need anymore. So thanks for having me again.
Very cool. Vito starts off at a -5 points for that Cowboys answer, but I will move on to Mallory. Mallory, I know you've been on the show several times, past champion, multiple time champion. So tell us a little about yourself.
Hey guys, my name is Mallory. I'm a first-year grad student at the Indiana University of Pennsylvania, which is right outside of Pittsburgh. I am fortunately living in the Pittsburgh area as a Phillies fan, as a Philly everything fan. I collect Penn State alum for football, Eagles. I've recently really gotten, I don't want to say really have gotten into, but kind of like everyone else dipping their toes into different categories, gotten into baseball a little bit. I can kind of thank that to Chris, the constant baseball chatter. But I went to a baseball game this season, went and watched the Phils and the Nats play in DC. And that kind of just sparked everything. Saw Bryce play, saw a bunch of good prospects, and I was like, I want to get into this. Grabbed a bunch of Bryce cards recently, have a couple of his rookie Chrome cards, and yeah, just getting into different things. Like I said, football is my main thing, but big into Philly and Penn State everything.
Very cool. Thank you guys. And tell you what, we got 5 people, so might run a little long. So let's get this thing moving. First question I got for you guys, Jamie, this is kind of inspired by a video I saw of you and Will the other day where you were in a break with Buck City Breaks and pulled a sweet Peyton Manning. I had to get new speakers because the reaction busted my speakers on the computer. But
sorry about that.
That was what, number to 5, right?
It was.
All right.
Yeah.
So my question for everybody here is, what's the lowest number card that you've ever personally pulled? Not in a break, but you ripped the pack and you pulled that card out of there. I've been fortunate enough. I pulled 2 1-of-1s, one this year and then one last year. But I'd like to hear what the lowest number card that you've ever personally pulled. What product was it? What player was it? How excited were you? How did you react? And we'll start with you, Jamie, and then we'll kind of go around the horn.
Well, by my count, I'm going to go with household because I got 2 boys that are pretty active collectors. We've got 3 1-of-1s that have been pulled. One of them significantly more valuable than the others. The first one I ever pulled, and this was way back when, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was opening Prism 2018 football blasters when you could still buy them for $20 a box at Walmart. And there was a Mark Walton from the Bengals, and it had the NFL shield in it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I just set it aside and came back to it a little while later. And I was like, I haven't seen any others look like this. Anyway, so that one was like a Black Finite 101. I pulled a Terry McLaurin 101 out of 2019 Donruss Elite. And then the superstar, my son Will, has pulled a Patrick Mahomes 101 from 2019 Elite. So
Wow.
that one takes cake.
All right. Right on time. I didn't say 30 seconds at the beginning of that, so that was my fault. So I gave you a minute, and you wrapped up right at a minute. So I'll give everybody a minute on this round. So, Nick, on to you. What's the lowest number card you've ever pulled?
I've had some pretty crazy luck the last couple of years. I think by count, I have 4 or 5 one-of-ones I've pulled personally. A couple of wrestling cards. I got this Johnny Gargano one-of-one autograph I pulled. I pulled a one-of-one Carter Kai Boom that I gifted to Chris for his
That's
PC.
Awesome. Awesome.
And I Pat Patterson one-of-one Topps Chrome Wrestling card. There it is that I pulled last year. And the big one that I pulled last year, Bowman Heritage, Bobby Witt, 101 Superfractor.
Sweet.
So that's my favorite. Austin Riley, Topps UK. I pulled a 101. So I guess I have 5. And that was a really special box to me. So that was that's a story for another time. But yeah.
All right, cool. Very cool. That's awesome, man. And gifting that to Chris, that's a tremendous rack right there. So that's awesome. Good on you for that one. Vito.
So we actually, I say we because my daughter is really active in my ripping here. We actually have pulled 4 one-of-ones. The first one is a Freeman printing press that we pulled. This one is not the greatest. It's a Chew from Gypsy Queen, 101. And then I pulled one just a few weeks ago, this Beau Bichette from Museum.
Yes. That was sick.
The Artist 101.
Very cool.
And then I actually didn't pull it. I pulled this one, didn't know it was in a shoebox, was going through some stuff to sell, and I found that I had a Yastrzemski Ben Baller 101.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
That I hit. So that's probably the best one of the 101s. But I think the best one my daughter ever pulled was this 1-of-5 Soto Auto from Stadium Club last year. That was probably my favorite. Nice. So we've been lucky.
Very cool. Very cool. Right at a minute. Good job. That's awesome. I mean, we got some. I didn't expect this many 1-of-1s to be talked about. That's crazy. That's crazy. Mallory, do you have as many 1-of-1s as these guys?
I haven't pulled as many 1-of-1s. I've actually never personally pulled a 1-of-1. I got into the hobby last summer, like actually purchasing cards and purchasing breaks. I've been following it for a good 3-4 years now. I was an undergrad. I couldn't really afford to get into breaks, afford to get sports cards to my liking. So I've really only been into the buying and collecting of cards for just a little bit over probably like a year and a half, 2 years now. So I've never opened, fun fact, I've never opened a hobby box. So as soon as I get out of school, that's what I want to do. I want to open a hobby box. I've never done that personally. I've opened lots of packs, lots of single packs. So no 1-of-1s personally that I've pulled, but my lowest number card is I think I pulled like an out of 25 Rashad Bateman from this year's Prism Draft Picks, which was nice. It was a mojo, but I do have, this is a Jalen Rigger 1-of-1 NFL Shield. This is one of my only 1-of-1s, but it's great. And I got that from a rack from the BCB fam at the beginning of my collection. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you. Mr. Goldline, your first answer in time. I do have the mute button ready, so you got a minute.
He'll be quick. Don't worry.
I've never pulled a 1-of-1. Like for how much product I've opened in my life, to not have ever pulled a 1-of-1 is just unbelievable bad luck. Now I've owned a bunch thanks to some amazing people like Nick with the Carter Kaboom, our cardboard group with the Jerry Judy, Drew Lock 1-of-1. I bought a Cody Bellinger. Blake Jameson sent us, Claire's got a 1-of-1 Jesse Winker. She got a printing plate. My son's got a Cooper Cup. The lowest card I've ever pulled was just last week out of the Prestige. mega box, I got the Warren Sapp 2 out of 3 auto. That's the lowest numbered card I'd ever pulled. And so, Becky, the best card she ever pulled, my wife, is an out of 10 Von Miller autograph. So when Vito brought out hey, this is kind of like the best one, even though it's not a 1-on-1. I mean, out of 10 Von Miller of your PC, that's got to be at least, the best right there. But
wow.
He was a minute. Yeah.
Wow.
He's over a minute. So yeah.
Wow.
I had to do it, man. I didn't give you the warning, but I had to do it.
Cancel culture on his own show.
I was just trying to ramble on to get muted too.
All right. Let's move on. I might be the only guy here that is a bigger college football fan than NFL fan. So my passion is with college football, not NFL football. So why don't you guys take 30 seconds, educate me on something, give me a hot take on this upcoming NFL season that's about to happen. So lay it on me. Give me your hot take for this upcoming NFL season. Nick, we'll start with you this time. 30 seconds.
Hot take, man. I'm kind of with you. I'm more in college than I am pro, but I will give my hot take. I'll say the Miami Dolphins win the AFC East. Despite what the Bills are putting together, I think the Dolphins are going to win the AFC East. And maybe the hottest take, I think Tua is going to be our Pro Bowler this year.
That's nice.
Ooh.
Hot.
Couple of hot takes for sure. All right, Vito, you got a hot take for us?
3 things. I think New England found their quarterback. I think Mahomes continues his dominance, and the Chiefs go to the AFC Championship again, or at least they'll be in the Super Bowl again. And I think the New York Jets make the playoffs this year.
Ooh, that is
hot.
That's a hot take. I'll give you 7 points for that one. All right. Mal, do you have a hot take for us?
2 now.
Yeah, so I actually wrote down my answer to this before the news got released today, but maybe a little bit biased, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that Jalen Hurts is gonna come out as the best quarterback in the NFC East this year. I guess that's not too much of a hot take with the NFC East in general. You got Jones, Fitzpatrick, and Dak. I just don't have the faith in. No offense, Vito, but I don't think that the Cowboys have put enough back into the team for Dak to come back comfortable, and there's just no protection that they should have gotten for him.
I'll tell you what, that is a hot take because Chris and I did a show last night, and I predicted that Minshew would be the starter by midseason, and so I guess we have opposite. But I told you at the beginning I'm not that big of an NFL guy, but that was my kind of hot take, is that Minshew would be the starter. So very cool. Chris, what's your hot take, sir?
Teddy Bridgewater's going to get hurt in Game 4 after leading Denver to a 3-0 start, and it's going to be heartbreaking. But then Drew Lock's going to come in and take Denver to a wild card spot, and they're going to get destroyed by the Dolphins in the first round. But everyone's going to be like, sweet, Teddy Bridgewater's so good, but he's always hurt. So then Denver's going to trade Drew Lock and get Khalil Mack back. So you're going to have Chubb, Von Miller, and Khalil Mack all rushing, because that's the only way they can beat the Chiefs, is to just basically beat on the offensive line the whole time. And Drew Lock's just going to hand the ball to Javonte Williams. They're going to run just like Terrell Davis. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be Super Bowl champions next year.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, sir. Thank you. If all that happens, we'll have to go back and watch the tape. If that happens. All right.
If all that happens, I'm buying Mallory a hobby box. I'm driving to Pittsburgh and we're ripping together. So
there you go. Well, let's hope it does. Jamie, you got a hot take for us?
How do I follow that? Maybe this isn't a hot take. It's a hot take in the fact that a long-suffering franchise is going to finally get off the schneid and no longer have a 0 in front of their Super Bowl record, and the Buffalo Bills are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Whoa. Wow. I like that one. a lot.
That is my hot. But I also agree. I don't think Teddy makes it the season. I don't quite have the same outlook, but Drew Lock will play the majority of the season for the Broncos this year.
Gotcha. Very cool. Thank you guys for that. Let's switch up sports real quick. We're Chris and I talked about this last night. We're coming up on a great time of year. NFL's getting ready to start up. College football is getting ready to start up, but baseball is getting ready to get to the nitty-gritty of the playoffs. So just really quick, let's go around the horn, 30 seconds. Who do you have as your AL and NL champions, who's facing off in the World Series, and who is going to win the World Series. This time, let's start with Vito. Start with you.
So I wanted to see the Yankees Reds, but it looks like it's going to be Yankees Dodgers. I really did want to see Yankees Cincinnati, but I think Yankees Dodgers.
Yankees Dodgers. Who wins?
Yankees, of course.
Yankees. Okay. It's a -5 again.
They got to beat the Angels this week first.
All right, thank you, Vito. Let's go to Nick next. Nick, what do you got? Who's the World Series matchup, and who do you have winning?
My heart wants to say the White Sox, but until they show me they can beat good teams consistently, I'm not going to say that. I think actually we're going to see the Dodgers and the Rays again. I don't want to see that, but I have a feeling that's what it's going to be. The Rays are just pesky, and I think they're going to get there. And the Dodgers are just built for it. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rays sneak by this time and win it. But if there was a dark horse, I don't know if you consider them because they're in first place, but I say the Braves. Nobody expects it without Acuna, and look at them.
Yeah.
Very cool. Man, you got to have more confidence in your White Sox. I think the White Sox, I think they'll be there for sure. I think they'll be in the World Series. That's who my AL World Series pick is. I'd love to see them take the Dodgers down. I really would.
The pitching has to wake up.
Yeah. Mr. Chris, what's your prediction? See if you are consistent from last night.
Well, I'm just going to have to take Che and Nick to Chicago and Cincinnati with me so we can watch the White Sox and the Reds play. Absolutely. That's what I'd like to see. But in all reality, I really think it's going to be Chicago and the Dodgers with Walker Buehler, Scherzer, and Kershaw. No one's beating the Dodgers. Like, it's just not going to happen unless they run into, the Cincinnati Reds, who all they do is hit, and Wade Miley gets lucky. Sonny Gray starts praying, and then Luis Castillo becomes his self of 2 years ago. Cool. And the Dodgers win. Dodgers over White Sox.
All right, Jamie, what's your take on the World Series? Who's going to be in it? Who do you have winning?
Well, I'm a Rockies fan, so I tapped out last year when they traded Nolan Arenado. And I have not followed baseball. I don't think I've watched a single inning of Major League Baseball. The Rockies annoy me to no end, and it makes it really hard to be a fan. That said, give me the Brewers and the Rays, and the Milwaukee party continues. So they get the Bucks and they get the Brewers World Series champs.
Wow, that's interesting.
I'd given you 7 points when you
made
the Rocky statement, and then you followed it up with the Brewers, so that's a -7. So you have a net 0 on that answer. All right, Mallory, I know that you're into football most, but you said you're starting to do some baseball. So do you have an opinion on who's going to be in the World Series, and who do you have winning?
So yeah, I'm with Nick on this one. I have Dodgers and Rays going a long way here. Not really much to say about it. Dodgers are just a powerhouse right now. It kind of reminds me of what's going on in the NBA. Just completely dominating the MLB. And, if we're going to give a dark horse, my Phillies are on a 4-game winning streak. I'm just saying, but no, hot take, dark horse. But Dodgers and Rays.
Okay. Who's going to win?
Dodgers.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So let's kind of move on with, this is kind of a card show. It's about the hobby, right? So let's talk about, I'm not even talking that much, man. Chris, has he's got control over this as well. So it's a hobby show. We haven't talked really about, we talked about the lowest cards we pulled, but I'd like to know, with the way the hobby's gone this year, not being able to find stuff at retail. Vito, I know you don't do a lot of retail. You do mostly hobby. But I think we've all had to learn to adapt. Jamie, you said you've adapted a little bit on the way you're going to collect. So, some of that adapting has been, NFTs. Some people have gone, Chris talked about going to Green Lantern cards and Batman cards or something like that last night. So are there any collectibles that aren't sports cards that you are now getting into or you've always been into? Nick, I know you do wrestling cards. So are there any collectibles besides the big four? I'll even include hockey in there, baseball, football, basketball, and hockey. Are there any collectibles that you enjoy collecting? And if so, what are they? So we'll give you about 30 seconds apiece. Nick, we'll start with you this time.
I collect some Funko Pops, different variety, ones from shows I like. I collect some action figures. I actually collect newspapers from historical events, all the way back from when I was a kid, and big things happened with Don Shula and things like that. So I have newspapers that I've kept from all these years, and I've inherited ones from like JFK's assassination and things like that.
That's awesome.
So I like to keep those. I'm into history, and I'm into American history especially. So that's the kind of stuff I like to collect.
That's really cool, man. That's cool. That's awesome. Chris, what about you, sir? Anything? I know you and Claire do your Sunday morning shows, and you've kind of branched out a lot. So what are some of the favorite things non-sports wise that you're collecting now?
Well, I also collect watches and belt buckles, so that's kind of cool, I think. As far as cards go, yeah, Nick mentioned the Funko Pops. I started getting into that because my wife got me Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber, and I think that's dope. But I've really gotten into Pokemon a lot lately, and I used to call it Pokemon, but it's definitely Pokemon, I've been told. And these art cards are really nice, and my daughter really likes them, so it's a special bond with her. And I started making these TikTok videos. I'll just open a pack of Green Lantern and have like 2,000 views, and then Batman gets a whole bunch of views. So I really started liking the action cards.
Very cool. And I was a little slow on muting. I almost got you. Vito, are there anything outside of the traditional sports cards that you like to collect?
Yeah, so I just want to clear the record. I do buy retail if I don't have to go to the store to get it. So if I can get it online, okay, I'll pick up retail. I just don't want to chase retail. But yeah, being a big Disney fan, we collect Disney pins, right? So when we go to the parks, we'll buy a pin every year, or a couple different pins, some limited edition ones. But for us, it's Disney and sports cards. But definitely Disney's up there high on my collection list.
That's cool. Have you been doing that with your daughters for a while?
Yeah, I've been doing that with my daughter since first time I brought her to Disney World when she was 18 months old.
Wow. Very cool. Very cool. Yep. That's the great traditions right there.
Yep.
Nick's
Jamie,
a season pass holder at Disney.
Yeah, I would be too if I lived in Florida.
Yeah. I was when I was in Florida. I lived in Florida for a year. I had a season pass.
I'm a DVC member, Nick.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
Mr. Jamie, is there anything you and the boys like to collect other than the big four sports?
We actually collect coasters. So when we travel, we pick up coasters from the different places. So we've got
that's cool.
Four Seasons room, and there's kind of a ledge in there. And so the coasters are all split. The last one we got was looks like a piece of a football, and it's got number 18. It says Manning on it. So that was the one we picked up from Canton. We got one from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So we try and get a coaster everywhere we stop when we're on our trips.
Very cool. Very cool. Mallory, we'll let you end up this topic. Is there anything that you like to collect other than the big four?
So yeah, sorry, there's a dog in the background, so if you hear crazy. But so before I got into like the sports cards hobby, I was collecting I know it's kind of in the same realm. I was collecting sports memorabilia way before I got into sports cards. Then it's two separate worlds to me.
It is. It is.
So behind you see the Jalen jersey back there. I got a Saquon 8x10 up there. On this wall that I'm looking at, I got 3 other jerseys: Hurt, Smith, Sanders. This wall is just all memorabilia. I got like 15 mini helmets. Jalen Rigger full size right beside me.
Sweet.
So yeah, memorabilia, sports memorabilia.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you guys for that. That's some really interesting stuff that I didn't expect to hear. So it's always cool to learn what other people collect and something besides what we all talk about every day on Twitter. Chris, during your answer, you actually talked about your TikTok channel. Jamie, I know you do some YouTube stuff with the boys. So my next question is, do you have any other social media that is hobby specific or hobby related, not your personal Facebook account or your personal Instagram account? But I know we're all on Twitter. That's how we all met. That's how we communicate with each other pretty much on a daily. But are there any other social medias that you branched out into that you are specific to the hobby or cards besides Twitter? If so, what platform are you on? So, Jamie, we'll let you go first on this one.
Yeah. So Shay, you mentioned it. We do. It's mostly Will. This is Quentin. Quentin hops on every once in a while. You can say hello.
Hi.
He won't mute you. So we've got our YouTube channel. That's just under. Well, you can see it in the comments too. It's the Real Spizza Wu-Tang looking symbol, just Jamie Spitler on YouTube, and then I put the Instagram for Spitz Hits. I'm much more active on Twitter than I am on Instagram, though. And now that school started, YouTube's going to be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, for sure. All right, yeah. So go check him out. Him and his boys do some really cool stuff on there. Really, really good channel to follow. So, Mallory, do you have anything besides Twitter that on social media that is hobby specific?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at Pen Philly Cards. I'm pretty active on there, post about my PC, about stuff I open, all that. And like Chris, I do have a TikTok. I kind of stopped over the summer. I was pretty busy with work and my internship. But I haven't had a TikTok for about a year now. I'm a social media manager for sports, especially here at my university. So I'm looking to get back into that on there and hoping to start doing even some like retail rips, giving people affordable prices on TikTok. So watch out for that.
Nice.
Very cool. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Vito, do you do anything besides Twitter?
So Twitter is obviously the most active. I have them all. I have Facebook for specific to just, the hobby, Instagram, TikTok. I started TikTok because of Chris. I know he's been pretty lucky with that. I have my own website and I have a YouTube channel, but I don't do much with anything but Twitter. Twitter is where I'm the most active for sure. And I think if you count Discord as a social media platform, I would say Discord is where I'm the most active after Twitter.
Gotcha. All right. That's the first website mention we've had. What is the website?
It's just pointsportscards.com. Definitely need a lot of work on it, but once I found Discord, I stopped putting a lot of time into that.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you, sir. Nick, you got anything besides Twitter that you do?
I do have an IG account that I made last year when things were just going crazy. Just a account to kind of share some of my pulls and some cards I bought. And also I wanted to follow sports accounts, but I didn't want it to clutter up my personal account. So that's what I use that for. It's Junk Wax Survivor on Instagram because I consider myself a survivor of the junk wax era since my childhood was shattered. Yeah, so that's really all I have that's hobby related outside of Twitter. But I haven't been that active on it, and they'll probably this calendar year just have neglected it, and I'm just on Twitter most of the time.
Gotcha. Thank you. I wrote that down. I'll check you out. That's a cool name. I definitely identify with that. Chris, you're muted. Do you want me to unmute? Okay. We know you got the TikTok. I think you do a few things on YouTube every once in a while, so tell us about how you're expanding the Gold Line brand on other platforms other than Twitter.
Yeah, so like Vito said, I also have a website and I never use it. No, I should, because that can get a lot of traffic because, basically I've tried to build my brand for a year. And that's what I try to do with TikTok too. You can open one box, 8 cards or 8 packs. That's 8 different videos. That's like 4 days worth of videos you can upload. I have Instagram. I don't use it very much. I started to because I started uploading the TikTok videos to the Instagram reels. I do have a Facebook for Gold Line Cards, and I think Vito's the only person who knows about it. And then Discord, I don't know how to use, and everyone in here knows that I'm terrible at Discord.
Gotcha. Are you Gold Line Cards on across the platform? You just use the same?
Yes, it's at Gold Line Cards across all platforms.
All right. I think I got everybody on that, right?
I'm on LinkedIn too.
Okay.
No, not really. No.
And MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace, LinkedIn.
All right. Well, my next question is this. As I look to my right in my card closet, there's probably 75,000 base cards from over the years that I'll never look at again. I don't know what to do with them. Should I donate them? I don't want to. What do you guys do with all the base cards you accumulate? Do you donate them? Do you try to build sets? Do you use them as kindling in the winter? What's the best thing to do with your base cards? So, Mallory, we'll go back to you and let you go first on this one. So, as you accumulate your base cards, what do you do with those?
So yeah, for me it kind of just depends because I do a lot of like ripping in card stores just with the prices on single packs. If I'm in the store, get a pack with a cool insert in it. I try to keep the insert. If it's something I'm not really interested in, I just donate all the base cards. The local card store here does free mystery packs for kids. They take them, they'll do whatever with them, give them to the kids, make them happy. That, and if I'm ripping at home like you, I probably have close to 80,000 base cards, like just from opening retail and opening different hobby packs. So eventually I'll donate them once I sift through rookies and stuff. But,
Very cool. Thank you. Vito, you're an old hat like me. You've been in this game a long time. I can't imagine how many base cards you've got. What do you do with those?
So I liked starting to set build, and I typically will do the Topps Series 1, 2, and update, and then maybe Chrome. But I started donating a lot of my base to cards for vets and commons for kids. Just it feels good packing those things up. And I'm not going to lie, I have dumped cards in the past. I just literally just dumped them in a bag. Luckily, that Mike Yastrzemski 1/1 was not in the shoebox that I dumped. But I'm sure I dumped some cards that, had a little bit of value, not much. But I like to donate.
Very cool. Very cool. Nick, what about you?
I actually save my blaster boxes, and I will sort and put the cards back in the blaster boxes. And the ones I want to keep, some of them I sleeve, some of them are unsleeved, depending on who they are. And then my wife brings home copy paper boxes from work, and that holds about 16 blaster boxes. And I store those. Anything I don't want to keep, the other base cards, they get put in other boxes, and I take them to either the Boys and Girls Club here in town, or sometimes Goodwill, depending on what's open and what's not open and what my, availability is to get there.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. Jamie, what about you and the boys? What do you guys do with those excess? I know, just like Vito, didn't you find, or one of the boys found a pretty low numbered
it was
nice
Mahomes 101. It was Will.
Yeah, Mahomes 101. Yeah.
He pulled it out of, we went to the LCS, I don't know, before everything got nutso. And that was, you could buy a Donruss Elite pack for, I think, $7 or something.
Like 2.
So anyway, yeah, so we pulled that. As far as the base thing, I take them to our middle school library every so often, and the kids use them as bookmarks. Wow. So that's something that's helpful. You might check in with your school district. Reach out first. Just don't go dump them on them. And I'm kind of hearing some other suggestions on what to do with it, because my folks are trying to unload all of my base from when I was growing up, which is like 2 5,000 count boxes in 1988 Topps, football, baseball. I have a lot of wood border cards in my house.
Me too. All right, Mr. Chris, what do you do with yours, sir?
Well, I got that blaster box idea from Nick, but I do like both. So I'll keep some of them in here that I'm keeping and the ones that I give away. And honestly, a couple nights ago, I took one of the ones I'm giving away and used it in my fire pit to burn some wood. But we used to take them to the Children's Hospital. And then when COVID happened, they weren't accepting anymore. So I've got quite the backlog that I need to do something with. And hopefully I can get into that. But I'm coaching T-ball now, so I made up some baseball packs for all the little kids on my team. I think that's really awesome. And so
cool.
really going to try to get all these cards to other people and maybe try start burning them. And then I'm just going to keep talking.
All right, so I want to move on. My next question will actually be untimed. I won't put a time limit on there. So, Chris came up with this question that he sent to me. He said it'd be a good one to ask. He would like to hear these stories. I tweeted out the other day about if I could go back in time to one of my sports memories where I was there, I would choose a certain game. But Chris kind of put a little spin on it. If there was a game that you could go back in time that you weren't there, you weren't in attendance, but you would give anything to have been in attendance at that sporting event, what would that event be? Vito, we'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, this was pretty easy when you asked this question. For me, it would be 1980 USA versus Russia in Lake Placid. I can't think of a more historical, excitement, just patriotic national event to really be. And I remember watching that game as 12-year-old in 1980. It was exciting, and I wish I could have been there.
That's an awesome answer. Set the bar high on this one. That's a tough one to beat. That's a tough one to beat. Nick, what about you, my man?
Well, mine's not as far-reaching as that one. That was a great answer. Mine would be Game 4 of the 2005 World Series when the White Sox closed out the Astros in Houston. I had the opportunity to go, and I let the girl I was dating at the time deter me from doing that. So I ended up watching it in a sports bar. Freddie Garcia and Brandon Backey in a pitcher's duel. I think they both pitched 7 scoreless innings. Then the White Sox got one off Bradledge, and Bobby Jenks held him off for that save, 1-0. And my White Sox, for the first time and maybe the only time in my life, win the World Series, and for the first time in 100-something years, and get off that Black Sox, snide. And yeah, man, I still kick myself for that. I had the tickets virtually in hand and didn't do it. So if I could go back to any game and go, it would be that game and in a heartbeat.
That's understandable, man. It's once in a lifetime, maybe.
That's
as a
why,
Reds fan, I can identify with that.
And I've made it my wife knows that if the White Sox get back to the World Series, regardless of where it is, I'm going to attend the game. So
I think it'll be in Chicago.
That would be the ultimate.
I'll meet you there.
Mallory, what about you? Is there a sporting event from the past that you did not get to attend that you really wish you would have gotten to go?
So there's 2 here. I really couldn't make up my mind on this question. So I'll go with, I guess, the one that's lesser. So 2016 whiteout game at home against the Ohio State, Penn State versus Ohio State. That's when Grant Haley had the blocked field goal kick at the end of the game against Ohio State, took the lead at the end of the game. I think Ohio State was 3 in the country. We weren't even ranked. I don't know if you guys know about Penn State whiteout games, but continuously ranked best college football environment by many of the guys out there. So that one, and then of course the 2018 Super Bowl against the New England Patriots with my Eagles. I would have bawled my eyes out if I saw the Philly special in person. It was just like watching on TV. It was a magical performance, but yeah, those 2 for sure.
That's awesome.
Is that a whiteout game?
Yeah, that is a whiteout game against Ohio State.
Yeah,
at Happy Valley.
That environment there. I mean, I can see you said it's been voted. I mean, I've never been there, but just watching some of the like videos from inside the crowd, like people take with their cell phones. It's an unreal environment.
Yeah,
the vibrations are so like it shakes the entire town of State College. You feel your heartbeat because of how bad everything is vibrating. It is the most electric environment I've ever been in general, concerts and everything.
It's amazing.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Jamie, what about you, sir?
Well, I'm going to sound like one of my 8th graders and say, you stole my answer. But I had a backup, and maybe it's not a backup. No more I think about it. And as I processed this, I was like, man, Super Bowl 32, watching the Broncos win, that would have been amazing. Watching Colorado get their national championship back in 1990. I remember watching that one on TV. But the more I thought about it, I'm a history guy, and it had to be historical. And in my lifetime, it's definitely the Miracle on Ice. But I think historically, I'd like to go back to Berlin in 1936. Ooh. And I'd like to see Jesse Owens standing on top of that podium, number 1, in front of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. I feel like the Stones, the pressure, like just everything that Jesse Owens, independent, being in Germany is one thing. He faced enough in our own country, but
yeah,
I tell you what, that just feels and maybe it's so far in the past now that it doesn't get its recognition, but that would be mine. Put me in a time machine.
That's an awesome
Oh, man.
answer. That's
How do I
a
follow that?
tremendous answer.
Yeah.
So
No kidding.
I hadn't thought about that. That's awesome. Chris, you want to follow that?
Yeah, thanks. Well, I'll get probably what Jamie was gonna go for before he went history, and I didn't even think to go that route. But he had mentioned the Super Bowls with the Elway era. I mean, being a Duke fan, I could go with Leitner, but I would have been 9. When Elway won the Super Bowls, I was 16 and 17. So I'm gonna go with Super Bowl 50 because I kind of went like, okay, well, I'd be an adult then, and just had my daughter. We could have traveled. My wife and I would have went. And at being, 30-something-year-old man, have a little bit extra money to spend, could have stayed in a nicer hotel, could have had a better experience, could have afforded better tickets, watch the Broncos win the Super Bowl, hearing John say this one's for Pat. I would have bawled like a little baby because every Broncos fan knew he just had to say it because when Denver won their first Super Bowl, their owner, Pat Bowlen, held up the Super Bowl trophy, said, "This one's for John." So, Pat Bowlen had rest his soul, had dementia so bad that he might not have even known that Denver was in the Super Bowl. And when they won, John Elway's general manager, he lifts it up and says, "This one's for Pat." So I think Super Bowl 50 over Carolina. And at the time, my cousin was working for the Panthers. So that just would have been it. Like Becky and I at Super Bowl 50, I think that would be, that would have been the cream of the crop for me to attend for my guys.
Awesome. Yeah, all those are great. I mean, I can't even imagine seeing any of those. I mean, being at a Penn State game at night with that happening, or I don't know about the Broncos answer. That wasn't a very good answer for me, Chris. But
I got a
the
feeling
Miracle on Ice, the Jesse Owens, man, those are some really cool stories. So thank you guys for that. I've got one more question that I'm going to ask, and this is kind of like this will determine how much attention you pay to my Twitter account. So it's probably the most important question of the night. But before I get to that, Chris, I want to say I've had a lot of fun, man. I appreciate you asking me to do this so you could be involved in the show. I hope that you had fun being part of your own show, and I was glad to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
But my final question of the night, like I said, if you pay attention to my Twitter, you saw this on there today, you might know the answer you're supposed to give, but it's really simple. You got 30 seconds. I just need to know, Coke or Pepsi? Chris, you go first. Coke or Pepsi?
Dr. Pepper. I'm just kidding. If your name's Anna, you just go Coke. But yeah, I saw what you said. Like, hey, I'm going to run and get a Coke real quick. Like, that's just what you say, even if I'm getting a Mountain Dew. It's just like you say, I got to make a Xerox, or I got to get a Band-Aid or a Kleenex. Those are brand names. So you brand the actual product, and that's what you go for. But if I'm actually drinking it, it's Pepsi.
Oh, wrong answer. All right, Jamie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I really like Diet Coke and sweet tea.
Yeah. Are you like Coke or Pepsi in your house?
Personally, so I have pretty much stopped drinking soda exclusively. However, prior to that, occasionally I'll have a Coke Zero. I don't know the last time I had a fully loaded soft drink. So that would be my answer would be Coke Zero. I'll still mix it in with a little bit of brown liquor every once in a while.
There you go. Mallory, are you Team Coke or Team Pepsi?
So I think I talked about this a little bit the last time Chris asked it on the show. It really all depends, because if it's a fountain drink, Coke every time. Fountain drink, if I have to get a fountain drink, it's going to be Coke, Diet Coke in particular. But if I'm going a bottle or a can, like Pepsi all the time. Like nice snap, Diet Mountain Dew all the time, Diet Pepsi. I'm split on the decision.
There we go. I'm with you on the Diet Mountain Dew. That's one of my go-tos when I drink, especially out of a bottle. Like you said, I'll go with Diet Mountain Dew. Vito, do you drink sodas? And if so,
well, if
Pepsi?
I probably mentioned, I spent 15 years of my career out of college working for both Coke and Pepsi. I spent the first 5 years working for Pepsi, and then the next 10 years working for Coca-Cola in production facilities. So I actually made both products and had a taste test them on a daily basis. I am going to say I am Team Coke. whether it's glass, fountain, aluminum can, plastic bottle, however it comes packaged, it is Coca-Cola all the way.
There you go, smart man. I Chris, I apologize. I didn't realize I must have missed the episode where you asked the Coke or Pepsi question before. I didn't know that it had been a previous topic on this around the hobby.
And you know what? That was that's why we joke around with Anna, because she's the one who came up and said, it's all Coke. It's Coke. It doesn't matter if it's Pepsi, it's Coke, in her little southern twang. So, yeah. But
she's right. But Nick, are you Team Coke or Team Pepsi?
Team Coke all day long. I love Coke Zero. I was scared when they introduced the reformulated one just now, but I actually love it. The only time in my life where I was Team Pepsi was in 1991 when I was 9 years old and Bo Jackson licensed to chill. And I love those commercials. I had to get the card, even though I couldn't buy anything. I don't even know if they gave you legit discounts. But I remember doing the taste test at the mall, and I purposely, I knew it was Pepsi because it tasted like trash. So I got the license to chill card. And we're a Coke house. Coca-Cola house.
There you go.
But you have those Shaq Pepsis, though.
Oh, okay. I do have the Shaq Pepsis only because he autographed. Well, I kept them because I collect stuff. But yes, he did autograph them for me. So
there you go. That's awesome. Nice. Well, guys, like I said, I've had a lot of fun doing this. I certainly appreciate you guys letting me do it. It was a tight contest. We had somebody that was in the lead. However, Jamie's Jesse Owens answer moved him to the top. So I'm going to declare Jamie as tonight's winner. So you didn't win the teacher edition, sir, but you won the expanded El Grande edition against the host. So congratulations. And we'll give you a minute to say whatever it is you want to say.
Yeah, I just want to start off and say it. I feel blessed over the last 18 months, 2 years since I've really been active on Twitter and gotten back in the hobby with the people I've met. I got to meet Chris face-to-face in Canton. I wish it was a longer visit, and it was kind of a little bit chaotic and hectic, but we'll be back that way, and I'm looking forward to when we travel to try and meet up and meet more people that are in the hobby. And man, there's a lot of good people. BCB, they treated us like kings and queens when we stopped in there. So that was pretty amazing. And I have to show off today's mail day. I don't know if the light's going to let it do it. So
beautiful.
Like I said, I'm pivoting. I couldn't afford the PSA 9. It was like 150 more than that, but
wow.
I think the 8.5 will do. I was trying to find an iconic Manning rookie card, and that one finally came in. So
nice.
Didn't you recently pick up a Walter Payton rookie as well?
Yeah, I'll grab that real quick.
I don't mind.
So, yep.
Oh,
that's so sweet.
That is.
So, sweetness. It's a 5, but it's a 10 in my mind.
It's not mint, but it's mine.
It's not mint, but it's mine. It's what I could afford. So, yeah, I've started to look for classic Broncos, Floyd Little rookie card, Raina Gratishars, stuff like that. So if you see me moving a bunch of stuff, I'm okay. I'm just probably pivoting a little bit on what I want to collect.
Small move.
Yeah. All right, guys. Once again, thank you so much. If you're still watching, we still got quite a few people watching. So we're 55 minutes into this thing. So appreciate you guys for participating. Appreciate anyone who's watched, whether you're watching now or you come back and watch this on replay. Chris, thank you so much for allowing me to do this. I'm glad you got to be a part of the show.
Yeah.
Great job, man. Thank you.
You took my job.
So I appreciate you guys. And I'm sure we'll all be back on this show, whether as a host or as a participant at some point in the future. So maybe I'll finally win one. I've never won one. So I'll look forward to coming back as a contestant. So with that, I'll do the outro and we'll end this. So if you guys want to hang around for a couple minutes and talk afterwards, we can. But I'll run this and we'll say good night. So thank you guys. Appreciate you. See you next time.
Thanks.